A serial killer, strictly speaking, is a person who kills at least two people in distinct incidents that take place at various times. Although there is no legal definition of serial murder, serial killers, crimes are frequently picked up on by the media and the general public, particularly when there are numerous victims or the killings are carried out in a graphic manner. In this video, we will explore some of the most notorious serial killers the world has ever known. Before starting, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more future updates. So let's start. Number 10. Jack the Ripper. Although we refer to him as Jack the Ripper, we don't actually know who is responsible for one of the oldest and most infamous murderous rampages. In 1888, a serial killer struck in London's Whitechapel neighborhood, killing 5 women and dismembering their bodies. Police speculated that the murderer was a surgeon, butcher, or expert with a scalpel. By mailing letters documenting the acts, the killer made fun of the neighborhood and the police. Over the years, a number of suspects have been named, but the murderer has never been found. Number 9. Jeffery Dahmer. Only 18 years old when he began killing, Jeffery Dahmer wasn't caught until 1991. When a would-be victim managed to flee and guided authorities back to Dahmer's Milwaukee, Wisconsin, home. Photos of dismembered bodies and body parts littering the flat there revealed some of the gory particulars of his life of murder. Even his acid vat for disposing of victims was there. Dahmer killed a total of 17, largely young black guys. He was murdered by a fellow prisoner in 1994 after serving 2 prison sentences. The first for molestation and the second for murder. Number 8. Harold Shipman. At least 218 victims are thought to have died at the hands of Harold Shipman, widely known as Dr. Death. However, the actual number is probably closer to 250. Between 1972 and 1998, this doctor worked in 2 different offices, while maintaining his London-based practice and killing. He wasn't discovered until several people raised a red flag, including an undertaker who was shocked by the quantity of cremation certificates Shipman was involved in and the fact that the majority of the cases involved elderly women who were discovered to have passed away in bed during the day rather than at night. Police botched the case, and Shipman continued killing until he became avaricious and attempted to rig a will for a victim that named him beneficiary, raising suspicions in the deceased's daughter. He was ultimately found guilty in 2000, and in 2004 he committed suicide in jail. Number 7. John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy was a construction worker who was well liked by his suburban neighbors. He was also active in politics and occasionally performed as a clown at children's birthday parties. No clown, he wasn't. In 1978, Gacy was suspected after a 15-year-old boy who had been last seen with him vanished. It wasn't the first time that relatives of missing boys had blamed Gacy, but it was the first time that officials had paid attention to them. The smell of over 30 people buried in a 4-foot crawl space beneath the Gacy residence was there when authorities were given access to the house thanks to a search warrant. He was put to death by lethal injection in 1994 after being found guilty on 33 counts of murder and extra counts of rape and torture. Number 6. H. Holmes. Although Chicago has seen its fair share of murderers, H. Holmes, the chemist who converted a hotel into a torture facility, is probably the most eerie. Before the 1893 World's Fair, Holmes relocated to Chicago and began building a 3-story hotel with a variety of sinister devices, including soundproof padding, gas lines, hidden passages and trapdoors, hallways that led to nowhere, chutes that led to the basement, and torture equipment strewn throughout a maze. Before being hung in 1896, he confessed to a total of more than 30 killings, which were only discovered after a fellow conman reported him for breaking a financial deal. Number 5. Pedro Lopez. It's possible that one of the most prolific serial killers in history is still at large. More than 300 homicides in Pedro Lopez's native Colombia, as well as in Ecuador and Peru, have been connected to him. Tribal women made up at least 1/3 of those homicide victims. Police discovered the graves of more than 50 of Lopez's teenage victims after his arrest in 1980. Later, after confessing to 240 additional murders in Colombia and Peru, he was found guilty of killing 110 girls in Ecuador. The monster of the Andes was freed in 1998 for good behavior. Thus he didn't even serve 20 years in prison. His whereabouts have been a mystery for more than 20 years. Number 4. Ted Bundy. Many people in the United States were more than glad to give Ted Bundy the limelight he craved as a result of his killings. His hunting zone was the western United States, where an undetermined number of murders, mostly of college-age women, were occurring from Washington and Oregon all the way to Utah and Colorado. After being apprehended and found guilty of abduction in Colorado, Bundy fled the country and relocated to Florida, where he continued to commit more murders. In 1989, he was finally put to death in the electric chair. Number 3. Jesse James. Gang leader Jesse James participated in numerous railway and bank robberies as well as killings. One of the most well-known members of the James Younger gang, the most notorious gang of the 19th century, was Jesse James. Jesse was a Confederate guerrilla during the Civil War and eventually became known as a modern-day Robin Hood. Many people think that Jesse was responsible for the numerous crimes against several Union soldiers during the Civil War. Undoubtedly, Jesse James is one of the most well-known American outlaws. He joined guerrillas active in Kansas and Missouri along with his brother. He passed away on April 3, 1882. Number 2. Griselda Blanco. The Cocaine Grandmother is the most famous moniker of Griselda Blanco. When it comes to Miami's largest cocaine drug trafficking, she was a pioneer. Griselda committed pickpocketing as a child. She was later arrested as a young adult on a federal narcotics charge and given a 10-year prison term. But with the aid of her covert agents, Griselda carried on her cocaine trade inside the Miami prison. When it comes to narcotics trafficking, the Black Widow, or the Cocaine Grandmother, was just behind Pablo Escobar. In the 1970s and 1980s, she was in charge of the underground. When she was 69 years old, she was shot to death. Number 1. Pablo Escobar. The top spot on our list unquestionably belongs to Pablo Escobar, a cocaine kingpin from Colombia. In order to maintain control over his drug empire, he executed thousands of individuals from all over the world while running many drug enterprises. One of the most feared and powerful criminal groups that have ever existed in contemporary history was led by Pablo. He controlled a number of aircraft, houses, and drug empires. Additionally, Pablo paid hitmen to kill police officers who were being paid to bring him to justice. In Pablo's lifetime, crime rates in his native Colombia sharply increased. He passed away on December 2, 1993, when he was 45 years old. This is it for today's video. What do you think of our video? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more future updates. Thanks for watching.